This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's sweetheart, Davey N.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
This is Death Wish, Anakin Murphy, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest interviews with all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox for the last 2 years. Sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J. And it is a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with Death Wish, Anakin Murphy.
Hell yeah.
How are you, Anakin?
I'm doing okay.
That's great. What could we see you, what you got coming up next?
This weekend I'll be at TWE in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and GCW in Columbus, Ohio. And then next week I have Glory Pro and Mouse's Fright Night 4 and Second Wrestling. So I have a pretty busy 2 weeks.
Pretty, it's better to be busy than bored, right?
Yeah.
Right, and where can we find you on social media and merchandise if you got it?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram as Anakin Sad Murphy. If you just search up Anakin Murphy on Facebook and YouTube, I'm probably going to come up. And I have a pro wrestling tees where if you just search up my name, I'll come up.
And you don't even have to go looking for that. All of those links will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Alright, let's get into it. You work for Glory Pro and St. Louis Anarchy. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
They're both in St. Louis, which has really become like a second home for me in terms of wrestling. Anarchy is like one promotion that's really took a chance on me, and Glory Pro too, because I won the tag championship on my second match there with Davey Vega. So those two promotions are very near and dear to my heart.
Alright, and speaking of your tag team, you just recently wrestled Jake Something and Ethan Price. I mean, Jake Something, obviously Impact Wrestling, a big name, and that match was just crazy. Can you tell us about that experience and getting that opportunity?
Yeah, that match was at the Pageant, which is a big concert venue in St. Louis, and that venue was really, really cool, and wrestling at that pageant was just awesome. And wrestling Something in Price, it was a chaotic match, but it was really fun.
Yeah, you super kicked Something off of the staging area.
Yeah, me, Vega, and Fitch, all three did.
Yes. And you have a couple of big matches coming up soon with Effie and Alley Catch in a couple days, and then in November, Anthony Henry.
Yeah.
So it does seem like you're getting higher profile names. What does that kind of mean to you?
It's pretty validating to be able to look at a graphic and be like, oh, I'm wrestling those two, and sometimes it's people that I've looked up to or have watched for a good amount of time, and it's just really, really cool to see, especially Anthony Henry.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's doing some good thing. I believe he's
Yeah,
signed to AEW right now.
I think he is.
So what's kind of your mentality going into, a match with, a notable name?
Um, huh. I think like just trying to have confidence within myself, and I think like having the mentality of like I'm usually like an everything's gonna be okay person. I usually catch myself saying that all the time. So I usually just go with that mentality with pretty much everything. That's probably what I'm gonna do with Anthony.
Okay, I thought you would say it means nothing. um, can you tell us about obviously Grindhouse and your tag team, Davey Vega?
Yeah, the Grindhouse is a whole stable with me, Davey Vega, Matt Fitchett, Tony Patrico, and Marty Bell. And like Fitchett and Vega were the besties before, and they're without a doubt the best tag team in the world. And they have been for a good while. So being with them is a huge privilege, and being able to like tag with Vega here recently and win titles with him has been a blast.
Obviously Vega, one of the four pillars of St. Louis Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
What's a pet peeve about him that you just don't understand?
A pet peeve about Vega?
Yes.
I don't really have any. He's a really, really cool dude. I really love being around him.
And obviously, you won the tag team championships with him as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you said it was your second match in Glory Pro. What did that
Yep.
kind of mean to you to get that opportunity so soon and, a new company for yourself?
It was pretty surreal because whenever I was still training to be a wrestler, I was like a referee and I set up rings and did like some ring crew stuff. And Glory Pro was one promotion that I did ring crew for. So like watching the shows then, fast forward like 3-4 years to winning a championship, and how winning that championship, no one can take that away from me now, is it's again really validating and really just nuts that like I'm doing it.
All right. Well, from one pillar of St. Louis Pro Wrestling to another, can you tell us about your relationship with Gary J?
Gary is one of my closest friends. Me and him talk every day, and like I had some pretty shitty trainers whenever I first started out, but Gary really took me under his wing and has taught me more than they did, and I consider Gary to be my trainer. And like I tell people like, oh, Gary J trained me, and obviously he's cool with it because like I didn't just say it. But our relationship is really good, and I enjoy being around him a lot.
What was one thing that he taught you that really has stuck with you?
Ah, that's loaded. Gary's taught me a lot. Gary, I remember one time really early on, Gary would would tell me like, "Oh, you gotta do what you gotta do to make yourself happy and to make yourself like mean something." I think he just said something along those lines, and that like I don't know, run a bell in my head, I guess, because like ever since then I started doing that in wrestling.
Interesting. Which brings us to another question. I mean, happiness means nothing.
Yeah, it's a little slogan.
Okay. Um, JJ also passed down his finisher to you.
A little bit, a little bit. He still uses it sometimes, but he does the frog stomp, which is like they're on all fours. He comes up from behind him and just kills them. and I've always loved that move. And I think one time we were talking about it, and he's like, "You can just have it." I was like, "Okay." So I use it as a finisher a couple times.
What does that kind of mean to you to have him pass down, his move to you?
I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, it's a good move, and I'm glad. It was like unexpected to hear like, "Oh, you can just have that." I'm like, "Okay."
Can you tell us about the toy box of fun match?
Oh, that was a really early on thing. So that was basically a hardcore match with toys between me and Dan Liplock, who is now Connolly. We were supposed to have that match, but the pandemic ruined it. But whenever things started to ease up a little bit and things were coming back slowly but safely, we were able to have it again, and it was a really fun match. Like up until that point, like that was my favorite match that I've had.
No, it's definitely an interesting match concept that I've never seen. What kind of who's thinking of this match? Was it something you brought to them? Was it something Liplock did, or they
So
approached you too?
originally, like they were gonna have this gimmick. There was an old owner of Zero One USA who's not in the company anymore, and they had an event like an invitational for him, and every match was supposed to be a gimmick match. And he originally wanted it to be a Lego death match, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm cool with that. That's probably easy." And it turned into the Toy Box of Fun match.
Having fell on Legos, was it an easy thing to do?
Landing on it was fine, but laying on them while he pinned me, that hurt more.
Yeah, I could imagine. You Now this is a match we don't see very often in the pro wrestling. You was in an I Quit match against Jock Kennedy.
hmm
Can you tell us about that match and what that experience was like?
So that match was fun. I haven't watched it back for whatever reason, but that was like a big culmination of our feud in AFU. Um, so yeah, there's like that's pretty much it for that I Quit match. Like that I Quit match was like fine. Like I took tax like a dummy.
What hurts more, Legos or thumbtacks?
Um, Honestly, like maybe it's just me, but like neither hurt that bad. I guess I'll have to say tax because they actually go into your skin and Legos don't.
No, I could definitely understand that. Um, but Jock Kennedy, obviously one of your better rivals in
Mm.
your career. Can you tell us about kind of your relationship with him?
It's them. It's they them.
Oh, they them.
Um,
My apologies.
you're good. You're good. So Jacques and I trained together and we backyarded together. So we really spent a ton of time with each other. So of course, coming into wrestling, we were gonna spend a ton of time with each other in wrestling. So having like as many matches as I've had with Jacques, it's been a really fun time.
Is it kind of that mentality? Your friends hit harder.
Yeah, yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Now you mentioned you was a backyard wrestler. Some people take that as a negative, some take it as positive. Um, but how did being a backyard wrestler help and hinder your career when you started getting, professional training?
I don't think it helped or hinder anything pro wrestling wise. I think like because like no one ever like hindered like harped on me about it much, but also like it just didn't help because I wasn't trained, so I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of view backyard wrestling as fun. It was like whenever I think back on the most fun that I had in high school, I don't think about like prom or or homecoming or hanging out with friends after school, like I think about backyard wrestling, because that's like me and a group of friends would leave our high school, walk to my house, and just do it. And like I still miss it sometimes, which is weird. Like I still miss like the time where I would just be carefree and just backyard wrestle with my nephew and like my best friends.
What's one thing about backyard pro wrestling that people maybe don't know, but they absolutely should?
Yeah, I think so. Like backyard wrestling's fun. I think people should just make it fun. Like I feel like a lot of people may take it more seriously than they should. And I mean, sometimes people take pro wrestling more seriously than they should, but backyard wrestling should just be fun.
Alright. Can you tell us about the Walmart promos?
I did one Walmart promo. Actually, no, I did two, didn't I?
You did two.
Did I do two? I did two?
Yes.
Okay. I think one was for the toy box match.
Yes.
Where I wanted to be in an aisle of toys, so Walmart was like the best thing. And the other one I think was like CDs.
Yes.
Something like that. Because I was doing like these promos, doing like a funny ha emo shtick, which I don't do anymore. I'm so glad I don't do it anymore. But my girlfriend would help me with those, and like pretty much how she does with everything. And I don't really remember that promo at all. I think it's somewhere deep, like on my Facebook. So you probably had to dig for it, which is cool.
It's also on your Instagram.
Oh, okay. So you probably had to dig for that too, because like that's like 3 years ago.
Yeah, but like, how does that come about? Do you just say, "This is what I'm going to do a promo now"?
I think so. I think I wanted to do something with CDs and make fun of them and do like some kind of, oh, there's no emo music here, da da da. So I had to go like somewhere where I knew there were CDs. Like with the toy box match, I had to go somewhere where I knew there was toys, so I knew the toy aisle at Walmart would probably work out. Plus, like it's Walmart, like crazier shit happens there.
No, you're not wrong about that. Well, I think that eliminates one question I had. Did you ever consider another store, like a Kmart, Sears, Target?
I think maybe I don't think I considered another store, but if I would have, like there was a Walgreens in the town that I was living in at the time, so maybe that, but they don't have much of a toy aisle or really anything.
I disagree. But Walgreens sometimes have a better toy aisle than maybe even Toys R Us back in the day.
And you might have a cooler Walgreens.
Ah, I see. Alright, now you mentioned like you were doing a more comical emo character.
Yeah.
Why? What made you come up with that, and why did you kind of slowly start to say that wasn't necessarily what you wanted to do?
So like the whole emo thing was my first like thought whenever I was training. So like it's a bit off topic here, but I kind of like that I've really stuck with an emo vibe the entire almost 4 years that I've wrestled now, which is cool. But I was wanting to do an emo thing, and I wanted to make it comical and relatable at first, so people could like click with it, because everyone had an emo phase.
Yeah.
But I felt like I wasn't being taken seriously, and I had like some other opinions from people. So I evolved it into this more serious-esque like emo character, but like I didn't really dress like it. I was just kind of a guy. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, yeah, this Anakin Murphy, he's emo, but all he does is kind of wear dark clothes. It's my girlfriend who really helped morph my look now with the makeup and sometimes stringy hair and like the shorts. Like she's made all the shorts, which I'm really grateful for. And yeah, well they're all old pants that I've had that I've cut, but she has painted on them.
Okay.
So she didn't like make it like make it, but she's painted on them, which is pretty hard work as it is. But like, I think my look now really screams like, oh, that's the emo kid, than it did before.
Okay. Now you mentioned your girlfriend. Is she a part of the wrestling world, or did you kind of bring her in on it?
I brought her in on it because whenever we met, she didn't really know much about it, but now she loves it, and she refs. She's been a referee for a good while now, and yeah, she's having a blast with it.
Interesting. Well, we know if she's the referee, you're winning the match, obviously.
Sometimes.
Alright. I think that brings us to our next segment. Anakin Murphy, Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Like a road story that's like weird?
Weird, crazy, bizarre, funny.
I gotta think on it for a second. I've been on a lot of car rides. Nothing really like weird or crazy has happened. Okay, yeah. This is, I think it sounds probably more tame than other stories, but one time I hit a deer.
Ooh.
And the deer went flying in the air, and I was like scared about my car because we drove my car, and I got out and looked at my car, and there's just a dent. Like it doesn't crack anything. It doesn't knock a headlight out. There's just one singular dent in my car from the deer, and I hit it pretty hard, and I felt bad about it because I don't want to hurt animals. I don't want to kill deer, but there was just a dent, and I thought that was a bit odd that this big deer that I just rammed into just left a dent. But also, they don't make cars like they used to. And my car's old.
You're not wrong about that. Oh, well, that's definitely a bizarre adventure, I would say.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of car rides, but nothing really like crazy has happened. I kind of want something crazy to happen, so I do have a story like that.
You're a pro wrestler. It's bound to happen. We had somebody come on one time, and he was just like, I'm trying to stay out of trouble, and I was like, can that actually happen? And he said, no. When you're in pro wrestling, you can't stay out of trouble.
He said, like, are you asking like my opinion on that?
No, I was just, telling you that. I mean, if you want to comment on that, if you like.
So he said in pro wrestling you cannot stay out of trouble?
Bit more or less, yes.
Oh, well, I don't agree with that at all. I think you can just be a cool person, and you don't have to have any heat or anything like that. I think you can really stay out of trouble in wrestling if you just kind of do your own thing and just be cool to people.
Well, he wasn't like saying like having heat and all that. He was kind of meaning like trouble kind of finds you when you're in pro wrestling, whether it's these weird, crazy, bizarre stories that come about.
Maybe I can see that. I haven't experienced anything like that. Knock on wood. I've had nothing but fantastic times wrestling.
All right. Can you tell us about your hatred of Star Wars?
Yeah, I really don't like Star Wars, and wrestling's made me hate Star Wars because since my name's Anakin, which I got the name from Star Wars, but like I just scribbled Anakin Murphy into a notebook and thought it looked cool, so I was like, that's gonna be my name. But every show I go to, there's one Star Wars reference, and I just hate Star Wars because of it. I've only seen the prequels. That's all I've ever watched, so it's just not my thing.
I mean, and you used a lightsaber in the Toy Box of Fun match.
I did. That was a little. That was a little like, okay, I'll feed into your jokes, but I'm probably never gonna do that again.
But and you only seen the prequels?
Yeah, I've only seen the prequels, and I did whenever I was super little. I liked them whenever I was little. I might have more of an appreciation for Star Wars now as a 20-year-old that appreciates more movies, but I don't know. It's just never like all the space and like mystical magic medieval stuff, like that stuff has never interested me at all.
That's crazy. And there's some great Star Wars has some great content, so I kind of feel like you're missing out.
Maybe.
Except, the new ones, 7 through 9, those are garbage, but that's another story for another time. Alright, can you tell us about your love of Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat's my favorite game of all time. I love that series. It's yeah, like yeah, that I don't know how you found out that I love Mortal Kombat, but I love Mortal Kombat.
Alright, so what's your casual playing patterns? I mean, who are you playing as? What's your go-to?
I love Liu Kang. I always play as Liu Kang because I really love I don't even know what it's called, but it's like the kick where he like walks on your chest and moves you. Like I've always loved doing that. I always mash it. People get really mad, but Liu Kang's my favorite. If not Liu Kang, then Baraka, because Baraka's really underrated.
You know, you're not wrong about that. And which one are you throwing into the console? Like which edition?
What? Which game?
Yeah, there's a few of them
I
now.
yeah. I think my favorite one was Mortal Kombat 9 because it was like whenever the series got rebooted. But I think the one that I love now is the newest one, like 11, because 11 has such a good story, and like that's why I don't play Mortal Kombat just because it's fighting. I kind of play it for the story because the story is really really good, and 11 blew me away, and I'm just like, this is awesome. Like this is so good, and I'm really excited for the next one.
Are you watching the Mortal Kombat movies as well?
Yeah, I've watched all the movies. Like I have all of them, and like there was a lot of flack with the newest movie, but I thought the newest movie was really good, and I think people need to kind of relax because I loved it.
I agree with that. And it came at a time where you really needed, good content, and I felt like it delivered that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I do too.
So yeah, I mean, good movie in my opinion. But I do
Yeah,
know that some people felt like there was too much of one character. I can't remember his name.
Cole.
Kano.
People were yeah. Oh, Kano.
Kano,
Kano
yeah.
was the best part about the movie.
I like the two, but some people felt like too much Kano.
Kano was the best part about it.
Yeah, and it seems like we might possibly get a sequel in the future as well. So
Yeah, I think it's like a 3-part like movie thing. So I'm really excited to see the next one whenever it comes out.
for sure, I am as well. All right, it's time for the colossal question. They're making a movie about Anakin Murphy. It's gonna be a big motion picture. A lot of big names are signed on to make it. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on the Anakin Murphy movie soundtrack up to this point?
Um, I think Helena by My Chemical Romance because that's the song I come out to.
Yes.
Um, I think Ohio is for Lovers by Hawthorne Heights because that's my favorite song.
Okay.
And I think Note to Self by From First to Last, because that's the song that I really wanted to come out to, but Helena got way too over with the crowd and people just love it, so I kind of can't change it.
Alright, solid 3. Do you lock it in?
Yeah.
Alright. Now, obviously, an actor has to play you. You can't play yourself because, you're gonna have to make that Stan Lee, cameo. Who plays Anakin Murphy?
I think Evan Peters. Evan Peters would play me because he's really, really good in everything he does. Like this new Jeffrey Dahmer series that has come out. Like he's so good in it, and all his stuff in American Horror Story is really good. So I definitely feel like he would nail it.
Alright. And obviously, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Oh man, definitely would have to be Gary. As far as someone that plays Gary, I don't know a lot of actors, if I'm being honest. Man, I think Gary would have to play Gary because there's no one that can act like Gary.
I will
And then
accept
my
that
girl,
answer because I love Gary as well.
and then my girlfriend Kaylin would have to be in it because she's been instrumental with my wrestling. I don't know, I'm kind of looking at like, oh, who these people look like instead of like good actors. I'm not sure. I think Gary, Kaylin. I don't know who would act as her. Yeah, I don't know about the actors, but I think the third person that would have to be in it. If I had to choose a third one, I think it would be Rob Leach because he was really helpful with me and Jacques Kennedy's first like beginnings as wrestlers. I feel like he would have to be in the movie. Plus Jacques, I feel like a lot of people would have to be in the movie, but if I have to pick 3, it'd be Gary, Kaylin, and Rob.
Alright. And no love for Davey Vega.
Vega would, of course, be in it.
I'm joking. But no, that sounds like, this is going to be a big movie. Pre-order your tickets now. Alright. Onto a controversial subject.
Okay.
Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
I don't like pizza, so I wouldn't eat it anyway if it was on the pizza.
Wow, you don't like pizza at all?
No, I'm a really picky eater, so I just don't like the tomato sauce that's on it. Like I can eat it without the tomato sauce. But I don't like pineapples, so I wouldn't get pineapples on my sauceless pizza.
I think we need to get you hooked up with Pizza Party Pro. Because you would be a
Maybe,
great heel there.
maybe.
I'm curious, what are your go-to favorite foods?
Foods, chicken wings are like if I had to choose a food to eat, that'd be it. Um, Chicken wings are really good. I really love Subway. Subway's my favorite place to go to eat at. So sub sandwiches, like I usually get like BLTs, but with no tomato. So I would just replace it with onions, so it's basically a BLO, and that's really good. Um, I guess a third one, I don't know, man. Bread. Bread's cool.
Bread's cool. Yes. Oh, chicken wings. What kind of sauce are you having on those?
I
Spicy,
usually I
mild,
usually
barbecue.
I usually get garlic parmesan. That's usually my favorite.
You're getting me hungry here now.
Good.
Alright, Spirit Pokemon.
Spirit Pokemon? Like what Pokemon is me?
Yes.
I'm not into Pokemon, so I don't know many. You can just guess, because I don't know many Pokemon.
Could I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Darkrai.
Okay, I'll have to see what it is, but I'll just take your word for it.
Well, that one is maybe, there's probably more, but he's an emo Pokemon, so I think
Okay.
that would work well with you.
All right.
What is question you'll be asked in a wrestling interview? Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual Rock.
Yeah, I would. I really, whenever they had the Invisible Man matches, I really want to have a match with the Invisible Man.
Oh, I heard that it's very hard to book the Invisible Man because,
Yeah, it
they can't
probably
get a
is.
hold of him.
It happens.
Yeah, you know, that ego thing that people have.
Yeah, I would have one too if I was him.
Just for context, there's this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual Rock for over 15 minutes
That's awesome.
in a Tungsten Man match, an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
He probably wouldn't say that because he lost.
Oh, well. Sucks, but it happens.
Yes. I mean, The Rock's the world champion, so,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta take those outs. Alright, we love Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Thug? Thug.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Can you recite it?
It's like T is for terrible, H is for hell, and then like I think U is for ugly, and then G is for jail, and then it's like something something
Because a Thug
something
can't
something
spell.
about being illiterate. Yeah, okay.
Alright. Yes, we love Tracy Smothers on the show. Trying to keep the memory alive.
I gotcha. I also like I don't pay attention to much, so I didn't know Tracy very well, so I was kind of out of the loop.
Well, the people that, have had encounters on with Tracy that have been on the show, they have like glowing receptions of him.
Yeah, yeah. I know some people that were really close to him, and it seems like he was loved by pretty much everybody, which is cool, which is really cool. That's a legacy that I would like to leave behind, of just
Absolutely.
being like loved by everybody.
And I would have really liked to have met him or shake his hand, but unfortunately, won't will not get that opportunity.
Yeah, it sucks.
Oh, for sure. Um, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Um, I used to have expectations for me, but like even now, like I'm not trying to like just like boast myself up, but I've like exceeded my own expectations on how and what I've done and what I'm doing now. Like I never expected to win that Glory Pro Tag title. I never expected to be in a trio with the besties in the world. I never expected to call Gary J a trainer. So I'm not gonna like focus on the future, really. I'm really I like the mentality of whatever happens, happens. So in 5 years, whatever happens, it's just gonna happen, and I'll be okay with it.
That's a great mentality to have because
Yeah,
obviously you could have what you thought what you would like to happen, but kind of be okay whatever happens.
yeah, yeah. It's really laid back. It makes me not have like anxiety about like stuff that's upcoming. It's just like, oh, everything's gonna be okay.
All right. And what's a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Anakin Murphy is all about?
Me versus Zach Sawyer's It's on my YouTube channel. There's two of them. There's one at Crux, and then there's one at AFU. The one at AFU is like the main one that I send out to people that want to know more about me.
And I will put that match into the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox, for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, rewatch it after this interview. And now, since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Bryan Danielson.
Worst wrestler.
Ooh. Gavin Alexander.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Sami Zayn.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Chris Hero's Idlewild Mid-South theme song. It was Kryptonite by Three Doors Down.
Yeah, sweet. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Real. I don't know. It's kind of dumb.
We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Okay.
Squash, fruit or vegetable?
I guess vegetable. Does it grow? If it grows, it's a vegetable. I don't know.
It's a fruit.
I mean, that's not necessarily true. I have no idea. I've never heard anything about a squash. I don't think I've ever seen a squash.
Well, it's indeed a fruit. It has tomato logic. It has seeds in it.
Okay, then it's a fruit.
Yes. But now you're a part of Squash Squad, and that means a hell of a lot more.
Okay.
New Japan wrestler Taichi. His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Whatever you want. Whatever you feel more comfortable in, and whatever looks better in your opinion.
Alright. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No.
And that is the correct answer. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me, Anakin.
Yeah, thank you.
And once again, where can we find you on social media?
It's Anakin Sad Murphy on Twitter and Instagram, and for everything else, just search up my name and I'll pop up.
And you don't even need to type it into your Google machine. We got you covered. All the links for all his social media will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Simply go into the description, click the link, a new tab will appear on any device you're on. You have no excuse. You've been listening to him for 45 minutes. Buy a damn short.
Hell yeah.
And of course, this is our 2-year anniversary. Thank you for listening to us, whether it's from this is the first time you're joining us, or if you've been listening to us since the Whiskey John interview 2 years ago. Thank you, and we're looking forward to bringing you more incredible interviews like Ellie Barrett and Anakin Murphy in the future. No plans of slowing down anytime soon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and of course, if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Play Coffee. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. On Twitter at Wrestling with E for all your information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, etc., etc. On Instagram at Wrestling with E as well. You can follow me at JamesJ993. Follow Kaliko at I am Kaliko. You can follow Scooter at Scooter Dust, and on the Remix, the only live alternative commentary for WWE PLEs. Join us, myself, Scooter, and Ryan for the upcoming Survivor Series live alternative commentary. Alright, Anakin, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, alright?
Okie dokie.
For our very special guest, Anakin Murphy, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James Jane, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment. Hell yeah.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.